Hello and welcome to my NFL Week 16 predictions. I have not been doing NFL predictions for a while, mainly because I focus on college football, as the channel name states. And to be frank, by the time I finish my college football stuff, or by the time I decide to get up and do it, it's already Thursday night, and I'm like, damn it, I missed a game. And then I just never end up doing it because I just I don't know. It's just I'm so focused on college football. But now the only thing I have to look forward to is NFL football. Before we start, you should like and subscribe because that's cool. Comment your own predictions. I'll read them. I'll literally answer. And yeah, let's get straight into it. First off, Jaguars versus the Jets. Now the Jaguars, the reason I would say the Jaguars win this game, or the reason I would have, is the Jaguars have suddenly entered the playoff talk with the win over the Cowboys. That was surely a loss, right? That's surely a loss. That hands them their ninth. There's really no chance of playoffs. But they won, and now the Jaguars are in the playoff talk. They can win out, and there's potential they'll get in. But the same thing kind of goes for the Jets. The Jets do not have a light schedule either and could easily fall into the same position. This is a game that the Jets definitely need to win because they finish off the season going to the Dolphins, and they also have the Seahawks game, which is, I'd say that's a win. I'd say that's a win for the Jets. Seahawks have started to look bad, but another team, the Seahawks are also another team that are in the playoff talk and need to win. So this game is you cannot lose. It is at the Jets. But to be frankly honest, I think the Jaguars have a little bit of a momentum shift here. And I don't know if Mike White is back in or if it's Zach Wilson. And, maybe Zach Wilson had a good game, 24-18, close game. But Trevor Lawrence pulls it off, and Jaguars hold off the comeback, and they win. They take the dubster. Bills versus Bears. I'd say right now the Bills are in a comfortable spot to kind of chill and relax, not really play their starters and stuff, keep them healthy. But I do believe, the Chiefs are right on their ass. The Chiefs are right on their ass. The Bengals are also up there, but the Chiefs are right on their ass. So this kind of feels like maybe it is a game that the Bills will need to try. I still do believe they'll play lighter. They'll play less starters. But the Bears will put up a surprisingly good competition, and it'll come down to Josh Allen being able to get down the field and kick a field goal. Per usual, the Bears will score a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. The Bills will get the ball back with 50 seconds, maybe even 30, and they'll go right down the field and kick a field goal and take the win home and move on to 12-3 and look and see what happens in the rest of the AFC. Saints versus Browns. My exact prediction for this game is it's going to be 17-33. Deshaun Watson's going to get a concussion. He's going to get knocked out whether he can stand up or whether he just gets Tua whatever gets knocked out, or he just gets hit in the head and he gets put on the concussion protocol. Brissett is going to go in, and the Browns will suddenly start looking scary again, and the Saints will not be able to hold off the Browns, and the Browns will take a dub. The Browns are another team right now that are in the playoff talk, and this is an immediate dub for the Browns. At least you would think. I mean, this is the NFL. Anything could happen. But I feel like as long as Brissett goes in and Deshaun Watson isn't in, I feel like they'll get stuff done because Deshaun Watson's kind of sucked on the offense. My prediction could be wrong, and he could just walk on the Saints defense because the Saints are not good. But I say Brissett. I want Brissett to go in and take Deshaun Watson's spot because it feels like it's kind of shitty how he got robbed of a spot after how well he was doing. Texans versus Titans now in this momentum shift where the Texans go into overtime with the Chiefs, almost pull off a major upset, and the Titans lose. I'd love to give this to the Texans, but there's one thing I know. It's when the Texans start doing good, they shit the bed and they fall apart. I'm going to say the Titans will hold them off defensively. Derrick Henry will run all over the Texans, and the Texans will put on a little extra touchdown at the end or something. It's not going to be close. The Titans also kind of need this win. They are 7-7. 2 more wins, you're in. I mean, it gets really weird when I say 2 wins you're in, because not necessarily. If there's a bunch of 9-8 teams, it kind of gets a little tricky. But if you're 8-9, there's really no shot you're in. It's too close competition right now. I don't think 8-9 will get a team in. So the Titans will look at this and be like, we need to win this game. We're not going to allow any mess ups. And the Texans will be like, we need to win a game sooner or later. We're not going to make any upsets. Or we're not going to make any mistakes. And then they are going to make every mistake possible and lose. Seahawks versus the Chiefs. Again, another team, the Seahawks, who are in that playoff spot. But there's no way, I can tell you this much, there's no way they beat the Chiefs at the Chiefs. Especially with the Chiefs right on the Bills' ass right now. But it will be a shootout. Both of these teams do not have the best defenses, but they have pretty good offenses. The Seahawks have looked sketchy, but Geno Smith has showed us what he's capable of, as well as Patrick Mahomes has. Patrick Mahomes has showed us how he can just go crazy and just go all over the place. And I believe this is a game where both the offenses will start to peak and the defenses will be like, oh shit, dude, here they come. But the Seahawks will lose because I believe Patrick Mahomes and his offense is much better than the Geno Smith offense. But Geno Smith is definitely good and can get stuff done, and he will. Giants versus the Vikings. The Giants, a team that are in the playoff talk, right? 8-5-1. You could get in there. That tie is pretty good for you. Although you'd rather have a win, the tie is definitely much better than an L. Basically, yeah, 8-5-1. They have a little bit of an advantage over the 8-6 teams, but they have a disadvantage over the 9-5 teams. So they're right in this weird spot. But with the win over the Vikings, they would start to look at a nice playoff spot. Ain't happening. The Vikings have had way too close of games. They've gotten slaughtered by the Cowboys. They've embarrassed themselves against the Colts, even though they had a massive comeback. That was an embarrassing first half. We will not look past that first half. And ultimately, the Vikings have won very close games. They did beat the Bills, but in terrible fashion. That was both teams shitting the bed. But this time, the Vikings will not. There's no chance. I believe, I don't even know the dog shit Giants quarterback name right now. Daniel Jones will not be able to get it done. He'll put on a touchdown at the very end and a 2-point conversion to go from 17 to 25. And the Vikings will dominate because Kirk Cousins is the best in the NFL. That's right, I said it. Not really. Bengals versus the Patriots. The Bengals, with a win, move up to 11-4, and with another win, they will move on to 12-4. But the Patriots are also in that playoff talk. This game being at the Patriots, it's going to be a cold game. It is a very important game for the Patriots. I'm going to call this one an upset, yo. A lot of people will probably disagree with me, but there's always that one game every single week that the world is stunned by. I'm going to say this is our stunner. This is the game in which we will be stunned by the Patriots. And honestly, it'll probably be like 31-7, and the Bengals will have to start climbing all the way back in, but they won't be able to finish it. Lions versus Panthers. Gotta love the 2-pixel image in the background. Just when you think a team is starting to get hot, starting to get some playoff talk. I mean, they're pretty much, if they win out, they're secured. I mean, they'll finish off 10-7. I don't know what the rest of their schedule looks like, but it is potentially there. A win against the Panthers, a win against the Bears, and a win against the Packers, that means you're in. You're in second place in your division. But there's one thing the Panthers are kind of notorious for this season is they lose to a very bad team, and then you're like, okay, I'll bet $200 that the Panthers will lose this game. And then they turn around and start to go crazy. But I do believe the Jared Goff offense won't slip up. I believe this will be a close game, but the Lions will score a touchdown with no time left and get that 2-point conversion. They'll go for it and they'll get it, and they'll take the lead over the Panthers with a major upset. The Panthers have lost their playoff talk, and that's why I'm saying this will be a close game. It's because once they lose their playoff talk, they decide to play like the best in the league. At least some do. Some continue to be shit. Falcons versus the Ravens. Currently, I believe Tyler Huntley is going to be the starting quarterback in this game. I don't know what Lamar Jackson's looking like right now, but currently I believe that Tyler Huntley will start this game. And then the Falcons will put Marcus Mariota back in. I don't believe Marcus Mariota was injured. I believe they ripped him out and gave the rookie a start because they believed it was over. And it was. But the rookie sucked. So in goes Marcus Mariota, and they'll win. In a very defensive game, we've seen this with the Ravens a lot this year, very defensive, low-scoring games, but the Falcons will pull it off, and the Ravens won't. Commanders versus 49ers. What a perfect game for the 49ers to just show their dominance in this league, show how high above everybody they are. At the 49ers, this is a little extra touchdown they'll add on at the end. 49ers, Mr. Irrelevant and the absolute dominant team they are, they'll win. They'll win, undoubtedly. Eagles versus the Cowboys, the game of the week. I would also like to mention that for whatever reason, all these games are on Saturday. I don't know. But the game of the week, this is an important game because this is like the Eagles' last potential loss. They could lose this game. There is chance that they lose. But I believe they'll put down like 35 points and shut down this Dallas team, and it'll pretty much just be Dallas the rest of the way, but the Eagles will have such a dominant lead. That means if Jalen Hurts is in, this is my prediction, if Jalen Hurts is in. I don't know what the situation is. I believe they cleared him for the game like he's good, but I don't know if that is true. I heard from a Barry McCockiner video, I heard that he sprained his shoulder. That's what he said. Now, he could have been saying some stupid shit, like, I don't know, making one of his jokes, like, he heard it, he'll walk it off, he's fine. Or if that's actually what happened. But that is like my only voice on the Jalen Hurts situation so far. If Jalen Hurts is in, the Eagles will beat the Cowboys. The Cowboys do have a good defense, but I've seen them struggle. They will struggle against this Eagles offense. Raiders versus Steelers, both teams that could maybe win out and get into the playoffs. Maybe, possibly their seasons are on the line. But I don't know who plays in this game. I don't know if it's Kenny Pickett or if it is Mitch Trubisky. If it's Kenny Pickett or Mitch Trubisky, I say the Steelers are going to win. You're in Steeler Nation, baby. I don't know. The Raiders just barely walked off with the win. They walked off with the win. They beat the Chargers. They beat the Seahawks in overtime. They beat the Broncos in overtime. It feels like they have been winning too many games and playing way too many close games. And I feel like this is the one where they will get their ass handed to them and their playoff hopes go bye-bye. I mean, as if they weren't going to go bye-bye. The Raiders play the 49ers and then the Chiefs after. What a way to finish off the year. Buccaneers versus Cardinals, our first Sunday game at 6:20 p.m. Okay, whatever. But, as much as I would love to give this to my Cardinals, we have Trace McSorley. We'll put up a maximum of 13 points from maybe a pick six and a couple field goals. We'll probably be up 13-0 in the first half, and then we'll just let them go right by us, per usual. Although Tom Brady has really struggled, and the Cardinals' defense is the only thing standing for us, I believe he'll just have too much room to win the game because the Cardinals won't be able to get anything done offensively. Simple as that. Packers versus the Dolphins, simple. I say it'll be a close one because the Packers have looked better, but the Dolphins have a statement to make. They also need to win one more game at the very least to be looking at a playoff. I mean, they win a game, they've pretty much secured it over the Patriots. As long as they beat the Patriots, they're in. They're in. Dolphins have wins against very good teams. They're in. Simple. Broncos versus the Rams. I'm going based off of our little trend with the Broncos games that we've seen all year. We saw them break out of that trend kind of in the Cardinals game and in the Chiefs game, but that was when Russell Wilson was peaking, and then he got fucking bitch slapped. I don't know if he's back in for this game or not, but I'm going straight back to the Rams-Broncos. The most basic game this year. I mean, you couldn't name a worse game to watch. You'd think the Rams versus the Broncos would be a kick-ass game. Well, you're wrong. And our final game, sorry for the absolute balls image in the background. I could not find a better Colts image. But it's time the Colts take a dub. The Colts have lost their playoff opportunity. I mean, they're 9 losses, 1 tie, but I believe they lost their playoff opportunity. They've been so dry. They just got embarrassed by the Vikings in a terrible, terrible, terrible loss. And Matt Ryan's not getting into the Hall of Fame ever. But the Chargers have been extremely inconsistent this year. It's not the Broncos versus the Rams, by the way. It is the Chargers versus the Colts, as the logos state. It is at the Colts. I don't know. I don't believe the Chargers will win this game, especially after the Chargers barely escaped with the win against the Titans. I feel like the Colts will just beat them out of nowhere. And that is my NFL Week 16 predictions. Again, like and subscribe because that's very cool. Tell me your predictions because I actually am very interested to see what other people have as their picks. And yeah, that's all from me. Adios.